No country can sustain what's happened to us in the last 3 years.
What we're trying to figure out is what in the hell happened at the border. What can we do to fix this situation? Do y'all even give a damn? Well, he ain't lying.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
Have any arguments against that right now? And I want to see how it goes.
One of the most important issues in this campaign is ending the nation-wrecking catastrophe on our southern border. There's never been anything like this. Under my leadership, we had the most secure border in U.S. history, acknowledged by everybody. Now we have the worst border probably in the history of the world. There's no place in the world with a border like we have.
Hey,
millions and millions of people coming in. Under Crooked Joe, lawless mobs of unscreened, unvetted illegal alien migrants are stampeding across our border by the millions and millions, including hordes of criminals, terrorists, human traffickers, gang members, and inmates emptied out of their prisons, insane asylums, and mental institutions. And that sounds bad, but it's actually worse than that. We stop it very quickly.
Thank you, Shelley Bell.
What's happening to us is not sustainable. It's not sustainable by any country. I believe the number is going to be, by the end of the year, 15 million. The real number is 15 million people. That's the size of New York State. Vote for President Trump means Joe Biden's horror show at the southern border ends at noon on Inauguration Day 2025.
Which is possible. Which is possible. Y'all keep the hope alive and keep fighting. Like, if y'all want this man to be president again, keep fighting, all right? Fight. And if you have to, fight dirty. You didn't hear me say it, all right? I'm not a lawyer, so, But if the other side is fighting dirty and they're whooping y'all tails in some ways by fighting dirty, hey, sometimes you got to roll up your sleeves because it's a fight. Ain't no such name a clean fight, huh? Nah, David, you're not supposed to do what you about to do to Goliath. You're not supposed to daggone use any slingshots. That's not fair. Nah, you use what you got and you fight if you want this man to be the president again. And if he loses, blame yourself because he is ahead of everybody right now. He could win this thing.
In 2016, you remember this, I ran on the border wall. That was a big deal. I ran on the border in the unsecure and very unsafe border. And we did so well that by 2020, the election of 2020, nobody even talked about the border. I couldn't bring it up. It was a subject because we had it down so good that it ceased to become a campaign issue. And now the entire world is saying once again that Trump was right. We were so right. And by the way, we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016, but we didn't talk about the border. Because we did such a good job with the border. Nothing to talk about. If Crooked Joe had simply kept my policies in place, illegal immigration would right now be at just historic lows. We were at a level that nobody had ever seen. That includes drugs, human traffickers, everything else. Now we have the highest amount of drugs ever in history. Again, I think pouring into any country. They're totally unchecked. All we had to do was, and this is all he had to do. Who's advising this guy? All he had to do is go to the beach. He's going to the...
Who's advising this guy? Who's advising this guy? All he had to do was go, listen, he's not lying though. He's not lying. Tell me to lie. If you hear a lie, feel free to throw it up there. You know what I mean?
The beach all the time now, right? Every time I turn on, they show him at the beach. He can barely lift the chair. The chair lifts like, it's about a half a pound. Can't lift it. Can't get his feet through the sand. One of his many consultants says, this is a good look for you. Go to the beach. I think he's probably a Republican, the consultant. But all he had to do is go to the beach, do nothing, and leave the border alone. He'd have historic lows right now. We did a great job.
Thank you. All things serious.
Just think of what we achieved under the Trump administration. I ended the human, economic, and national security calamity known as catch and release, where you catch somebody and release them in the United States, oftentimes criminals. I gave a free hand to our great ICE agents and let them do their jobs. These are brave people. I have friends in the audience. A couple of them are tough people, very tough people, but they're not tough like the ICE people. They go into those nests of MS13. They go in there swinging it.
And if y'all are just tuning into this live, I just want y'all to know this is not a Trump live. This is not a MAGA rally. This is not a conservative live. This is a truth live. What we're trying to figure out is what in the hell happened at the border. What can we do to fix this situation? Do y'all even give a damn? Do y'all know how how it affects you. Because some people don't give a damn because they don't think it affect them directly. You know how selfish we are. Us selfish, entitled, spoiled Americans. Don't even try to act like we're not spoiled. We are spoiled by our liberties, by our freedoms that we have. A lot of people don't like the Constitution, but because of the Constitution, we have a lot of the freedoms that we have. And because of people fighting for their rights, we have a lot of the freedoms that we have. All right? When people want something, they fight for it. All right? They fight for it. They take what they want. Period. You do it within the law. Do it within the law. You take what you want. And what he's talking about right now, he didn't lie once. He didn't lie once so far. Yes, he's just speaking, but he's capable of speaking. I would like to hear Joe speak. I would love to hear Joe speak. Somebody tell Joe to speak.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired.
I want to listen to Joe speaking. When he does, we'll hear him out. But right now, we're looking at that border. We see with our own eyes how even blue states now are pissed off about immigrants. That wasn't happening at first. At first, they was talking about, oh, we're going to be the sanctuary city. Let them in. Anybody should come here. You did say this the land of the free, right? Everybody should be able to come over. Now they are pissed. They are pissed. How in the world our streets are flooded with American homeless people, but you're putting immigrants, illegal immigrants, in hotels, and you're giving them a monthly stipend, and you're giving them a backpack full of goodies so that they can be good, so that they can be straight. What about all he's doing is putting America first? I know that sounds, selfish, but like I said when we first started, we are Americans. We are selfish Americans because of our liberties and our freedoms that we have, okay? And we pay taxes for these freedoms.
This is not
people
like
died
a
for these
situation.
freedoms.
This is a rough job for my 3 friends here. They think they're tough guys. You're not going to do it. But they go in there swinging and grab them and put them into the paddy wagons, and we take them out of the country. In the older days with a man named Barack Hussein Obama. Did anybody ever hear of him? Barack Hussein Obama.
Hey. Black people watching Trump, don't do that.
They wouldn't take them back in these countries where they came from. Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. They wouldn't take them back. They put airplanes on the runways, big airplanes, commercial jets on the runway, so when they'd fly in, they couldn't land. They stopped the buses from bringing them back. And they said to me, sir, we can't get them out. It's impossible. They won't take them back. I said, how much money do we give them as a country? $750 million for the 3 primary countries. Where you have the MS13, $750 million, which is peanuts compared to what we give away to a lot of others, which we're stopping. And we were stopping it fast. But I said, stop payment immediately. So we stopped payment. The following morning, I got a call, all 3 separately. Sir, I understand there's a misunderstanding with regard to our wonderful gang members from MS13. We love them very much. What is the problem, sir? I said, well, we give you a lot of money, but you won't take them back for about 7 years, almost 10 years. You're not taking them back. Sir, we would be honored to take them back. Please send them our way. We will take them back. We love MS13 very much. So we started sending them back, and they took them so fast, you have no idea. We still didn't pay them. We held it for a while. Held it as long as possible. We deported a record number of illegal aliens all the way back then, and they had a horrible situation going, and they announced fraudulent removal numbers, totally fraudulent numbers. We sent home nearly 1 million illegals during my first term, and we will far surpass that number because we have no choice. No country can sustain what's happened to us in the last 3 years. No country can sustain it. Just as I promised, I built nearly 500 miles of border wall. They like to say, oh, it was only 50. No. If there was a little board laying on the ground because there was a wall that was built 60 years ago and it was rotted, just laying on the ground, they'd remove it. They'd say, that was a renovation. That wasn't a new wall. No. We built, and it's actually in their stats, and even the Democrat stats, almost 500 miles of wall. And we took it out of the military because Congress was terrible on this issue, terrible. Even certain Republicans like Mitch McConnell. He a Republican? No. Is he a Democrat? I thought he was a Democrat. He gives them everything they want. I thought he was a Democrat.
Thank you, Liberty Twitcher.
We took that because I called it an invasion. I said, this is an invasion of our country. But nobody ever thought they'd see numbers like what you're seeing today. We completely finished our original plan. and then built even more wall. Almost 200 miles of additional wall was there ready to be installed. Could have been done in 3 weeks.
You know, and I actually seen that. Lisa Marie put this up here right here. I actually seen this in a video where it was a bunch of different openings at the border, and they couldn't even close the gates because they were welded open. Nope. You're going to keep these bad boys open. We need them votes. I mean, oh, did I say that? I ain't say that. You heard nothing from me. Where's my Men in Black mirror? I mean, Lil Juan, put it in your face.
Sorry.
Yeah, man, because this is crazy. This is nuts.
And they said, no, we don't want it. We want to have open borders. And a lot of people, including me, thought they were kidding. They weren't kidding. They're sick. There's something wrong with them. Either they are not smart, and I think they have to be smart because anybody that cheats on elections like that can't be stupid, or they want to destroy our country, which is, I think, what they want to do. Where the wall went up, illegal border crossings went way down by an incredible, almost 100%. And when I said Mexico will pay for the wall, they largely did. You know, they like to say, I said Mexico. Well,
I hope he really breaks this down because a lot of people always say he said Mexico will pay for the wall. What happened to that? That was another lie he told. You're about to hear it from him right now, man. And then we got more people that's going to talk about this daggone border. We're going to talk about this border until people hear about the border. We're going to talk about it until y'all share these videos, every single last one of you, so that everyone else can see what's important right now, what needs to be talked about. That's why we're doing this.
I called up Mexico. I said, you know, you're letting a lot of people in as we're building the wall, because once the wall goes up, but then they seek, you know, it's like water. They seek an area where there's an opening. But where the wall went up, but I said to Mexico, you have to give us 28,000 soldiers, armed soldiers, because you're letting in people at a level that nobody's ever seen before. No, we won't do that. I said, yes, you will, because if you don't do it, I'm going to put a tariff on everything you sell to us, including the car industry that they stole 32%. And I happen to like the president of Mexico a lot.
Do the math. He's talking about the business that we do for y'all, that we do with y'all. All that money that y'all make from us. Oh, you about to get the super tax. You about to get that real tax, huh? And that's how they're going to pay for the wall. What he's going to have to do is like put up a little whiteboard and be like, okay, this is how we made
What the dog doing?
Mexico pay for the wall. You know, that's how he needs to do it.
He's a socialist, but you can't have everything. But I like him. But his representative came and said, we would never do that. The State Department said, sir, they'll never do that. We've been trying for 20 years, sir. I said, that's okay. You'll do it 100%. They said, no, they won't do it. I said, I guarantee you they'll do it. I didn't want to make him a bet because a long time ago during a debate, Romney made a bet. Do you remember that? That didn't work out well. Do you remember? He said, I'll bet you $10,000. And then immediately he became known as an elitist. Two bets, 10,000, right?
That is a lot to bet. That's a lot of money to bet because you only bet what you can throw away. And if you're going to do that publicly in front of every daggone body, yo, I bet you 10 grand right now. It ain't nothing to me. That's a bag of chips. Give me that. Listen, 10 grand. Then you part of the elite if you bet 10 G's every day. Come on, I bet you 10,000. Yeah, you're a baller right there. You're a big baller. Pause.
Would have made him a bet, but I didn't want that to happen to me. But I said to the person, a woman who was very good, but she was dealing with Mexico for 20 years, never got anything. And he came in, the top representative of Mexico. I said, listen, you're going to give us 28,000 soldiers because you're letting a lot of people go through your country. No, we cannot do that. I said, yes, you can. And if you don't, we're going to put a 25% tariff on everything, including the millions of cars that you sell into our country every year. He said, sir, I'd like to go and make a phone call. Do you mind? I said, not at all. Call the president, because that's who he was calling. He comes back 5 minutes. Sir, it would be our great honor to supply you with 28,000 soldiers free of charge.
Oh my God!
Wow. And those soldiers, what? He said, we'll supply you with them soldiers free of charge. Okay. Let's say, all right, where's my daggone thing at? Where is it? How many soldiers did he say? 28,000 soldiers for free of charge. All right, so 28,000 soldiers. We have 28,000 soldiers. Let me move this out my way. All right, so we got 28,000 soldiers. How much per soldier? Let's keep it. Let's do something really small, right? So we got 28,000 soldiers that Mexico provided to make sure that people did not, get across our borders. They was protecting our borders. So we got 28,000 soldiers that Mexico gave us. Okay, let's put that. Mexico supplied All right, so Mexico supplied us with 28,000 soldiers. All right, Mexico supplied us with 28,000 soldiers. Let's just say that they got paid $10,000. $10,000 per soldier. How about that? Is that too much? Is that a lot? I don't want to go too big because they're getting paid by Mexico. All right. So how much are they getting paid from Mexico? Maybe $10,000 per. Let's say $1,000 per soldier. All right. Let's just say 1,000 per soldier. All right. So 1,000 per soldier. All right. 1,000 per soldier. Per soldier. Okay. That's $1,000 per soldier. Let me put the dollar sign so we can know we talking money here. All right. All right. So they paid them. Mexico paid them $1,000 per soldier. All right. How much that does that equate to? Is this wrong? Or is this right? Is it 28 million? Is that right math? Is that correct math? Or is that bad math? And we don't even know for how long. But this is what Mexico gave. So for anybody that says that Mexico did not pay for it, they literally paid for it. They literally paid for it. And they keep on trying to say, they keep using this right here. You need to show people this. Show people this right here. Every single time they talk about how Trump is a liar, they always talk about Mexico never built the wall like Trump claimed they built the wall. But if Mexico gave and supplied 28,000 soldiers, and let's just say, we're making this up, $1,000 per soldier they're paying them. They got to take care of their families. I would have said $10,000, but if you try to, if our soldiers per soldier here would be like 40 to 60 or probably 80,000. I don't know, way more than that. But I'm just going to say 1,000. We're being extremely conservative here. Extremely conservative. $1,000 per soldier. Come on, man. And they keep trying to hold that on him that he's a liar. Now, he might be a liar. All of us lied before. Don't sit there and tell me that you are perfect. None of us are perfect. But when he was talking about this whole border situation, he was right. He was right. And we don't try to give him the credit that he's due. He was actually right.
And we had great numbers. We had great numbers and best numbers we've ever had. And, it's just so sad when I see there's so many stories like that with French, with the wine. I said, I'm going to tax your wines. If you do this to us, I'm going to tax your wines and champagne. And they said, you can't do it. And then they said, well, if you're going to tax our wine, are you sure you're going to do that? I said, I'm 100% sure. Here's the legislation. They said, sir, we are not going to do anything to your companies. They're going to tax all of our companies, a massive number. And then I said, I'm going to tax your wine and champagne. As soon as I said that, they said, we would be delighted not to tax your companies.
Now, you hear that, right? This is just called doing business. Only a business-minded person would do this. That's why he was able to bring more money to the pot when he was the president. It's that simple. It was just simply his expertise. Business was his expertise before he became president. That's it. He was not a politician. He's still not a politician. The brother gets being a politician all wrong. He's a comedian is what he is. He's a businessman, he's a comedian, and he's clearly he has become a good politician. He's actually a good politician. He's a good politician. You can say he's not a politician, but now he's a good politician. He knows how to hold forums. He knows how to meet and greet world leaders. He knows how to do that very well. He understands all that he needs to understand when it comes to world affairs and what every single state needs. This brother, this is what he do. So who out there will put us in a better position economically than this dude right here? I'm just saying. Look, think objectively about it. If you got any gripes over anything I just said, feel free to throw it my way. I would love to hear it.
We don't want our companies taxed in France. So I negotiated remain in Mexico, forcing fraudulent asylum seekers to stay in Mexico until we could tell them that their phony asylum claim was denied. Now, by contrast, in his first 100 days in office, crooked Joe Biden and the radical left Marxists took 94 open border actions. Think of it, 94. He canceled the border wall, ordered a virtual shutdown of ICE, implemented nationwide catch and release. Nobody's ever seen the kind of things he did. They gotta hate our country.
Yeah. That's pretty much a free for all right there. He took the locks off and just opened all the doors wide open. That's like, and I'm not trying to say, listen, don't take this the wrong way, all right? It's like going to a kennel and opening up the front door, both of the front doors, because usually it's double doors when you walk inside of a kennel. You walk inside of the kennel, all right? You open up all the side door and the back door, where they usually take the dogs out so they can exercise or use bathroom, whatever, and they do their cleaning and stuff like that. You open up that door, and then you go and open up every single cage. what you think is going to happen? The streets will be flooded. The streets will be flooded with whatever was inside of them cages before. Not saying that they're inside of cages, but we have these walls and these barriers up for a reason, to keep one party from entering or exiting without going through the proper procedures, period. And we do that for a reason. And safety is one of the biggest reasons there. Like, yes, it's equating to money, but it's also equating to safety too.
Ended remain in Mexico. Remember, it used to be remain in the United States and come back in 5 years for your court case. Me, I get a court case in 30 days. Takes them 5 years. Takes them 5 years, come back, and they never show up and nobody cares. They ripped up my asylum bans, terminated my expedited removals under Title 42, which was a big deal. Even the judge said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And began resettling millions and millions of illegal migrants into our communities at taxpayer expense. Numbers like nobody's ever seen, not just New York, it's all of our cities, but countrysides too.
And when people hear that, they be like, oh, numbers like no one's ever seen. Millions and millions and millions. See, he's a liar. It's not millions and millions. It's probably like 1.5 million. All right, but he's saying millions and millions, numbers like you never seen before. And well, he ain't lying. This is literally numbers that we've never seen before. The onslaught of immigrants, illegal immigrants, just running over to outside. Just, I'm here. Take care of us. Give me somewhere to stay. Give me something to eat. Give me somewhere to work. And supply me with some funds until I find everything that I'm looking for. Okay? Not only for me, but you see them? Yeah, that's my son right there. That's my daughter. Say, hey, y'all wave to the good U.S. people. Say, hey, America. Say, hey, America. I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but that's what they're doing. And it's not only Spanish. I mean, it's not only Hispanics at all. Immigrants are from everywhere, okay? And they're coming over here illegally a lot. So it's crazy.
You're being affected. Even here, you're being affected. Biden puts China first, Mexico first, Ukraine first, Canada first, Europe first, Asia first, illegal aliens first, everyone first. But he puts America last, he puts our military last, he puts veterans last, he puts everything that's good and proper to be last. That's what it is. It's called America Last. That's what his program is. And I don't think he understands his program anyway.
Facts.
It's people that surround him that are doing it because he doesn't have a clue. The guy can't put together 2 sentences. I put America first every single time.
And they got an issue with it. They got a huge issue with him putting America first every single time.